There's nothing quite like a nice juicy kebab or some crispy fried plantains fresh off the grill. Street food is not only tasty, but often the cheapest meal option available. In fact, according to the World Health Organization, 600 million people around the world regularly eat street food, and 2.5 billion enjoy it occasionally. Yet while we might see these mouth-watering foods as a tasty and affordable part of daily life, in many corners of the developing world, that bite could cost you more than you think your health. From unwashed produce to food left out in the sun too long, street food can be a minefield for microbes. And in places where access to clean water and basic sanitation is limited, the consequences can be dire. In this episode, we're going to find out what exactly makes street food so risky, why it's especially dangerous in the developing world, and what we can do to keep those tasty treats safe. First, let's talk about the food. What makes street food so delicious? Often comes from the same ingredients that can make it dangerous. Take, for example, the beloved Nigerian dish of suya, grilled meat kebabs served on the side of the road. Suya is usually made by inserting small pieces of meat onto wooden skewers, leaving them out in the sun, and then broiling them over an open fire. This slow cooking process might sound appetizing, but it also leaves the food sitting in the danger zone between 4 degrees Celsius and 60 degrees Celsius for hours, allowing bacteria to multiply. One study found that nearly 2/3 of street foods sold in Nigeria were contaminated with at least one type of harmful microorganism, including pathogenic strains of E. coli and Salmonella, which cause diarrhea, fever, and stomach cramping. These microorganisms come from poor hygiene during preparation and vending. For example, one study in Nigeria found that 79% of the vendors did not wash their hands before preparing food, likely spreading germs from the surfaces they had been in contact with. The researchers also found that 43% of vendors used contaminated water to wash their produce, and 27% of vendors used untreated wastewater for cleaning dishes and utensils. In some cases, the same water is used for washing dishes and for preparing food. Chemicals can also contaminate food through 3 main pathways. First, vendors may add excessive amounts or unauthorized ingredients to improve the appearance or taste of the food. For example, some food vendors have been known to use industrial dyes to color creamy sauces bright yellow, giving them a richer look that will attract customers. But these dyes aren't meant for consumption and have been linked to cancer and other health problems. Second, natural toxins called mycotoxins can contaminate ingredients such as grains and nuts if they are improperly stored or prepared. Mycotoxins are produced by molds that thrive in warm, damp environments and can cause everything from liver damage to cancer. Finally, pesticides and heavy metals such as mercury and lead can linger on fruits and vegetables even after being washed and can end up in the food you eat. In low-income countries where regulations are weak, there is little oversight on how food is grown, processed, or stored. And in areas where industrial manufacturing is unregulated or poorly monitored, airborne chemical pollution can settle onto food and surfaces. Even the bustling streets themselves can pose a risk as exhaust fumes from cars and industries release nitrogen oxides and particulate matter into the air, which can contaminate food and surfaces nearby. And finally, physical contaminants like dust, dirt, and debris are common when food is prepared and sold in the open air, especially when there are few protective measures in place to prevent contamination. So why is street food so risky in the developing world? One reason is inadequate infrastructure. Many cities lack the necessary infrastructure to support large numbers of street food vendors. There aren't enough designated spaces for food vending, storage, and waste disposal. And access to clean water and sanitation is limited, which makes it hard to maintain sanitary conditions. It also means that vendors sometimes have to use contaminated water to wash produce and dishes, increasing the likelihood of contamination. Another factor is low awareness. Many food vendors don't have access to formal training in food safety and hygiene standards and may not know how to properly handle, store, or cook food. This can lead to dangerous practices such as leaving food out in the sun too long or using contaminated water in food preparation. And finally, weak regulation makes it difficult to enforce safety laws and ensure that vendors follow sanitary guidelines. Where safety laws do exist, they are often poorly enforced. And in some places there are no safety laws at all, leaving street food vendors to operate with little oversight. Now, all of this adds up to some serious health issues. Diarrheal diseases are widespread in places where street food is popular, along with food poisoning and other illnesses caused by contaminated food. And the consequences go beyond the individual. Overcrowded and unsanitary markets can become hotbeds for disease, allowing illness to spread quickly through densely populated areas. This can put a tremendous strain on already limited public health systems. But it doesn't have to be this way. By improving hygiene, enforcing safety standards, and raising awareness, developing nations can help street food vendors provide tasty, affordable meals without putting their customers' health at risk. So what are some things that can be done? One solution is to provide training to vendors, teaching them safe food handling, personal hygiene, and proper storage and cooking techniques. Trained vendors will be better equipped to handle food safely, reduce contamination, and protect the health of their customers. Another key is stronger regulations. Governments can develop and enforce clear safety standards for street food vendors, such as requirements for food handling, storage, and cooking. They can also set rules for market sanitation and create designated zones for street food vendors, ensuring they have access to clean water and waste disposal. Regular inspections can ensure vendors are following safety guidelines and provide them with corrective actions if they are not in compliance. In addition to training and regulation, raising awareness among both vendors and consumers can help reduce the health risks of street food. Educating vendors about the potential dangers of certain practices can encourage them to improve their hygiene and safety standards. At the same time, consumers need to be informed about the risks of eating street food and how to identify safer food options. This can help create a demand for safer street food and empower consumers to make more informed choices. Finally, investing in better infrastructure can make a huge difference. Improving access to clean water and sanitation, such as building more public restrooms and hand-washing stations, can help create a more sanitary environment for food preparation and sales. Designated vending zones with access to electricity and waste disposal can also help maintain safety standards and reduce contamination. Providing training, establishing regulations, raising awareness, and improving infrastructure are 4 pillars of creating a safer street food environment. These strategies should be tailored to the unique challenges and priorities of each community. For example, in some places, providing mobile hand-washing stations or portable toilets may be more feasible than building permanent infrastructure. In other areas, community-based awareness campaigns may be the most effective way to reach large numbers of vendors and consumers. Ultimately, addressing the health risks of street food requires a multifaceted approach that engages all members of the community, including vendors, consumers, local leaders, and public health officials. By working together, communities can make street food both safe and sustainable. Many low-income countries depend on street food vendors not just to feed their populations, but also to boost their economies. The informal sector, which includes street food vendors, provides a valuable source of income for millions of people, especially in low-income countries. On average, street food vendors earn twice as much as the average low-income earner in their country. And in some places, they are among the most productive workers in the economy. In Ghana, for example, the government estimates that there are 120,000 street food vendors who contribute to the country's economic growth and provide jobs and income for thousands of people. Similarly, in Uganda, street food vendors play a vital role in the economy, offering employment opportunities and generating income for individuals and families. However, this important economic activity comes at a cost to the health and well-being of vendors and their customers. The physical, chemical, and biological contaminants discussed earlier can have serious implications for the health of both vendors and consumers. For example, the dyes and chemicals used to enhance the appearance of food can have long-term health consequences. At the same time, the economic pressures faced by vendors may push them to cut corners on hygiene and safety, putting everyone at risk. Therefore, it is essential to find solutions that balance the economic importance of street food with the need to protect the health of vendors and consumers. This requires a collaborative effort from governments, public health officials, and the community to find innovative solutions that promote both economic development and public health. For example, governments can work with vendors to develop safer alternatives to potentially harmful ingredients or help them access resources to improve their hygiene and safety practices. Public awareness campaigns can also play a vital role in promoting safer street food consumption, while supporting the livelihoods of vendors. Ultimately, finding solutions to the health risks associated with street food requires a nuanced understanding of the economic, social, and cultural factors that contribute to its popularity and importance in low-income countries. By addressing these challenges, we can help ensure that street food remains an affordable and accessible option for those who depend on it, while protecting their health and well-being. Street food is more than just a quick bite to eat. It's a cultural experience, a community gathering, and a source of livelihood for many. By working together, we can help ensure that everyone can enjoy the delicious flavors of street food while staying safe and healthy. Subscribe our channel for more videos.